Yo! What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Happy Monday. I feel like I haven't sat down in days. But, I mean, it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. I was at the TPUSA Young Women's Leadership Summit. I keep wanting to say conference. I have to watch myself when I say it. The Young Women's Leadership Summit here in Dallas, and I gotta tell you guys, it was really fun. It was really fun. I was actually weirdly, I was shocked, and I hate the fact that I was shocked, because you go through our society right now, and it's almost so unpopular to be proud to be an American and be a Christian and all that, to be a conservative, even just in public alone. You know what I'm saying? It's almost people kind of tend to keep it to themselves most of the time. Right? But then on top of that, you go in there and there are women holding up signs, taking pictures with and stuff of signs that say stuff like, it's okay to be a stay-at-home mom. And women just promoting gun use and all that stuff. And I'm just it's weird that I'm so not used to seeing that when I did see it, I was like, whoa. And it was a really cool shock. Not a bad shock. Not like you see in the headlines. Oh, it's shocking. No. It was whoa. Love it. More of this, please. It was so it was just so out in the open, and it's just refreshing. It was refreshing. Kind of on a really, 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 really hot day, and you just get hit with some cold water. At first you're oh, and then it feels really good. That was in my opinion kind of what it felt like to be at the Young Women's Leadership Summit, and I met so many cool people there. TPUSA really knows how to put on a good party. I mean, really, you normally you walk into any kind of conservative convention or anything like that, and it's basic bitch. You might have a screen, you might have some media set up here and there, I don't know. It'll remind you of the interior of a church, a modern church, is what I'm trying to say. It kind of looks you have the stadium seating, you got the stage, and then you have the two screens on either side. The walls might be just white, plain, whatever. No, this one was the way that I put it when I was there, the feeling that I got, I felt like I was at a politically themed bachelorette party. The design of it was Taylor Swift. Who described it to me this way? It was Taylor Swift circa Reputation album. Right? It was actually pretty solid. It was really cool looking, and then all these women were there. They were in they ranged in age, but you had a lot of women there who were younger 20s, teens, and stuff like that. And it was pure fashion show. There were so many outfits there that they were there to strut, man, and they did it well. And the speakers were awesome. I got two in particular really stood out to me, and it was Dana Lash, for one. Dana, who never fails to wow the crowd. Dana Lash is just, she knocks it out of the park every time. The funny part about Dana Lash, for those of you who don't know Dana well, she kind of raised me in my media. All my media training comes from Dana Lash. I was on her show for a really long time. Her radio programs, even when she moved to the NRA, she was having me on. We were at, and I can't remember what the event was now, because we've been to a bajillion. But she got off stage after giving a I think it was an hour-long speech. She was just up there. I was like, man, that was a lot to remember. How did you write a speech and remember all that? She goes, oh, I didn't write a speech. You speak on radio for 3 hours every single day. Speaking for an hour is not an issue. She just goes up there and just starts talking. And then, that, she gives, some of the best speeches I've ever seen. The other one that I saw that I was really impressed with was Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson knows how to wow the crowd. Benny Johnson is a stage presence. How's everybody doing, man? How was your weekend? My weekend was stellar. Also, I found out the sex of my baby. But first, how's everyone? William Howard Taft, Brendan Morse. Hey, ain't you the one that invented Morse code? Love from Puerto Rico. Actually, William Howard Taft, believe it or not, I am directly descended from Samuel F.B. Morse, who invented the telegraph and Morse code. Direct descendant from the guy. He's my great-great-great-great-grandfather. So I come from what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say noble blood because it's not. He was an artist. He was an artist. He loved to paint and invent. I asked a lieutenant in the Army what he thought about the USMC and their colored bullets. He said a lot of people can't wait to retire. That's so sad. Oh my God, Amtrue. Man, the other day, hey, before I gotta get to this, I gotta see what chat's up to. William, it's alleged descended from the founder of the Morse code. No joke. Yeah, allegedly. Nope, direct descendant. Actually, you know what's funny? We went to the Smithsonian, and we were led to one of the art exhibits where they have Samuel F.B. Morse's portrait on display. And they had me stand right next to it, and because like its profile, it's like this, right? And they had me stand next to it, and I look just like the dude. Like similarities abound. Pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm just bragging. If you're going to try and save the country and your women, might as well have fun and use hot pink. Damn right. Hot pink and black were everywhere. And big white boots. Big white cowboy boots. The entrance hymn will be 1776. Rush Limbaugh was right all along. Please turn to page 432. I love Dana. Me too, man. I do love Dana. She's one of the nicest people there is. Seriously. Who is tougher than Chuck Norris. That's actually true. A lot of people don't know that. Chuck Norris went to go and spar against Dana Lash. And Dana was so good that Chuck actually backed down before they even started swinging. It was nuts. And the party of empowering women all thought those attended the party belonged in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. I guarantee it. You know what's funny is I was really struck by how many women were there going, you know what? Maybe I will be. Deal with it. Because they were all about, it wasn't like, they weren't like trying to say, well, you need to be a housewife. What struck me was like you're empowered to do whatever you want, including being a stay-at-home mom if you want to. And we actually smile on that here. Like, we don't consider you a societal failure. And I was like struck by, I was like, man, that's so cool to hear. That is so cool to hear, man. Pickled Squirrel, how you doing? All I can say is don't mess with women's shoes. That is a no-no. Yeah, don't do that. You know what's funny is I've learned something after being a husband for a while. All right? Whenever you take a picture of women, always offer to take a vertical picture as well. Always offer that. Because they want to get the shoes in. Do you want me to take a That's what I asked him. Do you want me to take a vertical so you can see the shoes? And the answer was yes. The answer was yes every time. Got to get the shoes in. Shoes are important. So for all of you guys out there, just a little bit of tidbit, a little tidbit of wisdom there from your boy. I'm not pregnant, but I'm currently baking some shortbread and cutting out letters for the kids' posters. That's awesome, Pickled Squirrel. As a housewife, you can network and communicate, plus organize things. People, I think women, modern women today, have been told that being a housewife is weakness. And if you actually look at a housewife who runs the household, they are anything but weak. They are way tougher than many women I have ever... I've seen TikToks of women giving motherly advice as they take care of 3 kids while on TikTok, and I'm like, these women are something else, man. There's something else. But, check this out. I got news yesterday about what the sex of my child is going to be. For those of you who don't know, my wife is pregnant. She is now in her 2nd trimester. And we didn't have a gender reveal party. We decided that, you know, we're I think gender reveal parties are kind of a fad. you know? And I'm glad that they're dying out because I feel like they've started to go way too far. And I just don't want to have a gender reveal party. But my sister-in-law, who is probably more obsessed with this baby than my wife and I are, wanted to do something. So we decided to go ahead and let her have a cake. And we cut into the cake to find out the gender. And the gender is a boy. I'm having a boy. I'm having an heir. I have an heir. That's what's up. Couldn't be more excited. Couldn't be more excited for this. I wanted a son. I think my parents wanted a son. A grandson, as it were. And now they have one, dude. And I'm super excited about it. Now, given I would have been just as happy having her. I want to make that very clear. But, I mean, you know, a father wants a son, right? Besides, here's the other thing. I still do want a daughter. I want to have a daughter. But I've always wanted to have a son first. You know, and have him, like, maybe grow up a little bit, be a little bit older. So that when I do have a daughter, he can protect the daughter. You know, when they're out and about. I need a guy who is willing to kick some ass for his little sister. You know what I'm saying? A fad and hazard to life and environment. No joke. It's airtime! Thank you, Amtrue. Really appreciate it. Found out my wife and I are having a boy in October. No joke, dude. Congratulations, dude. Ours is due in December, like very early December. But we're probably like realistically... Because, like, literally, like, the doctor was like, I like the date December 2nd, 2022. And I was like, that's pretty neat. A lot of twos in that. That's pretty cool. But, like, both Caitlin and I are like, it's probably going to be born around Thanksgiving. You watch. But congratulations, Slow DK, dude. Happy for you, man. I already have the project picked out. You do? That's awesome. Thank you, Carrie. Carrie knits blankets for everyone who, is curious about the project she's talking about. She knits amazing blankets. And she said that once she finds out what the gender of my baby is, she's going into the blanket. She's going into blanket mode. Now we can argue over the name. My wife and I have been trying to figure it out for a while. We've been trying to figure it out for a while. We went in... We were thinking about all sorts of names, and I'm not going to throw them all out because it would take up too much time. But we just saw Top Gun over the weekend. And honestly, for those of you who have not been to the movies in a while, you know, you refuse to see movies or whatever, because they're so woke, or you just don't have the time or whatever, make the time to go see Top Gun. Make the time. That is one of the... I have not left a theater feeling that excited about a movie for a while. I'm actually going to go back to see it again. That's how much I liked it. It was so good. There was no politics in it. It was just pure, total action. Just action and heart and everything. Like, there were a few times during the movie where I almost teared up because the emotion actually hit home. And it was like there's like a very father-son relationship thing happening within it. And I'm just like, oh, man, I felt so good watching that movie. Like there was not a moment where I felt let down. Not one moment. But we had just watched it. And like my wife yesterday goes, what if we named the baby Maverick? And the guy part of my brain was like, yes, Maverick, name him Maverick. Well, you won't be cleaning a firearm when you meet his girlfriend for the first time. A little girl might be different. You got to do the firearm cleaning thing. You got to. You know, as a dad with a daughter. But who knows? They say that once you have a boy, there's an 80-something% chance that you'll have another boy. According to statistics or something like that. I don't know where that comes from, but I just heard it yesterday. And, you know, naturally I believe everything I'm told. I was a December baby too. LOL. Get ripped off at Christmas every year. And thanks, congrats to you as well. Yeah, my brother's a December baby too. I feel so bad for him. But I'm like, you know what? My birthday is February 15th. Day right after Valentine's Day. I can only tell you how disappointing and heartbreaking it is for someone to come up to you and give you leftover Valentine's Day candy. which, by the way, is the worst candy. Valentine's Day candy is the worst candy. Don't give that to a kid on his birthday, especially those little hearts with the little messages. They taste horrible. It's the worst. Yeah, I'm third in line. Naming mine Elon Parker. Oh, did y'all see that Elon said he might pull out of buying Twitter now? I don't know if he's actually going in for like another business move here, but I'm gonna be the saddest man. I will be next Red State Live after it's announced that if he does pull out, it's just gonna be me, like, just depressed the entire time. I'm gonna be monotone, just like reading the news, like, and then they came out and said that Biden's popularity has dipped again. Casey Morse sounds like a baseball player or a jazz musician. I don't know. We never considered Casey, but I don't know if I'd name him Casey. I don't know about that. Banned in China works for me. Screw China. Congrats to you as well, Slow DK. Yeah. When my ex was still expecting, I threw out a name Axel as a goof, and she was going to go with it. I mean, it's a pretty cool name. Let's face facts. To be fair, you'd have Eminem. Probably don't want to go Garfield for the middle name. If you go Maverick for the first name, Maverick Garfield, MGM. Oh yeah. No, I mean, we were playing with it. We don't know if we're actually going to name him Maverick, but it's just kind of funny that we liked the movie so much that we were like, let's name him Maverick. Those hearts taste like chalk. It's because I'm convinced they are chalk. It's sugary chalk is all it is, and they are awful. They're the worst. If somebody hands me a bunch of those hearts during Valentine's Day, I'm just going to assume they hate me. Biden is going on Kimmel tonight. We're going to talk about that, actually. True. We're going to talk about that. How you doing, Mintats? My kid is going to be named Donald. I swear. Donald. I bet that's going to... I wonder if that's going to be... I wonder if there are a lot of people who name their kid Donald, actually. I'd like to see like a chart to see the popularity of the name Donald. I bet it actually shot up. I bet it did. Or Don, something along those lines. I bet it did. I'd like to see that. Not considering Goose. Goose's kid is like one of the main characters in the sequel, and his name is Rooster, and I thought that was actually really clever. Goose Morse. That sounds more like like an action. Like somebody's hey, go Goose Morse. Donald Taft. Actually, that doesn't sound half bad, actually. Donald Taft. Yeah, William, maybe you've got some direction there. William Howard Taft. Is your real name? Guys, speaking of kids, I kind of wanted to talk about this today because while I was at the Young Women's Leadership Summit, not conference, the summit, and getting blown away by all these speakers and these powerful women, apparently on the other side of town, in my city, in my state, there was an event happening that involved children. Apparently a gay bar had decided to what's the green screen? Look at that. It's playing with my Lord Huron shirt. There was an event happening at a gay bar where they decided to include children in kind of like a gay drag show. And I gotta tell you, I was a little, I'm not surprised. I'm still a little shocked. In a bad way this time. I'm a little surprised that they were doing it this blatantly. But I think that when it comes to this stuff, I think that they don't want... you know what? I'll talk about it. One thing at a time. Let's take this one step at a time. So what ended up happening was they decided that they were going to have a drag show for children. And the entire thing is pretty disgusting when you look at it. For instance, this entire thing happened with a sign in the back that said it's not going to lick itself. I'm not exactly sure why they thought this was appropriate for children. But as I'm starting to understand, and we're all starting to understand more and more, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Let's go ahead and watch some of these videos first, so we can have some context. I want to go over them. I want to react to them, so that we can really get down to the bottom of the mentality here. No, well, we gotta watch it. The missus would get rather irritable if we goosed more. Yeah, she would. She would not be happy about that. She might laugh for a minute, but then like she'd kind of be like, "What the hell?" After that, you know. Not good to piss off a pregnant woman. I was once, twice. Dude, I'm not pissing off pregnant women as much as I possibly can. Everything is yes, dear. Because nothing says family friendly like gay and bar. First off, yeah, take the gay out of it for even just a second. Why are you bringing your kids to a bar? Why are you doing that? Don't do that. Okay? My dad took me to a bar once when I was a kid. And he did it during hours when no one was there. And he was literally there to do business with a dude. That, I think, was the only time he had taken me to a bar as a kid. This is an active situation at a bar. This was beyond bad. Just wrong. Super wrong. Nah, my last name is Knives. Is it pronounced Neves or Knives? Neves or Knives? I need to know. Or Nieves. Nieves? Yeah, how do you... Give me a play-by-play on how to pronounce that name. Which for Puerto Rico is kind of like Trump. A lot of businesses that have that last name, building companies, etc. So Donald... I need to know how to pronounce that. Can I just call you Knives anyway? Because that's awesome. The whataboutism from the left over this is crazy. Oh, we're gonna, there is no whataboutism for this. There is nothing. And I'm going to show you guys that I think that they even know that they're doing wrong. I'm going to show you guys this. There is one reaction in particular that I really think exposes them and what they really truly think about what they're doing. They keep looking for that line and keep pushing it. Absolutely. Steven Crowder ripped that drag show apart today. Good. Dude, I love Crowder, man. He's always been a great guy. He's also a guy that I've known for a really long time. We used to be together on the Blaze and friends. We would show up and hang out during... this is like a while back. I haven't talked to him in a good minute, though. But ever since I've known him, he's actually been one of the cooler guys. Donald Knives has... I know, right? That is so cool. So did Tim Pool and Alex. Good. Everyone needs to come down on this. Every single person. Spread this far and wide. All right. Let's go ahead and watch these and get some context here. Just in case you missed it, we're gonna watch that again. This little girl handed this drag stripper dancer whatever money, and then in response to being handed that money, this drag dancer did a split in front of her. I know that this is supposed to be like the main. I'm so distracted by this person right here. This person, just the energy coming off of this person right here is pure wrong. I don't know what it is. It's so awkward. It's so awkward, and I can't stop looking right here. You guys can't see it. What I'm talking about. Hang on. Maybe the camera will cut. There it is. This person in like this floral shirt right here. Do y'all hear the music as well? Can hear us touching like that as this person dances like a stripper. A baby? Oh, come on, man. They've got their baby in like LGBT gear. This mother is just so proud of her little girl. Watch that again. Look at all these children. Bro, this dude got some chompers. Look at this. This dude got some chompers. That could compete with That's so wrong, dude. Here are some of the pictures that were taken there. It's not gonna lick itself, reads one of the neon signs, as you can see here. I licked it, so it's mine. On another part of it, is there a theme here that I need to understand for the gay bar? I don't get it. The crowd cheered as children walked with the drag performers. There were toddlers in the audience as well. So they had kids get up and start participating. They weren't just audience members handing out money, tipping these dancers. And he dabs. They have these kids lined up, ready to participate with these drag queens. Do you see them holding their hands? Oh my God. Really? Okay, so this is disgusting. This is look at these children holding the hands of drag queens, ready to go next. I don't know if these kids were volunteered by the parents to do it. I'm going to assume that. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. What I do know is that there is no reason for children to be hanging out next to drag queens at a show in a gay bar. None. Introducing that level of sexuality to children is nothing. There's no reason. You have no reason to be doing that. There is only one reason why you would introduce that level of sexuality to children. One. And all the parents in this situation who took part in it, had their kids take part in it, hand them money. By the way, the handing of the money thing struck me. Why would you introduce them to strip club etiquette or drag club etiquette? Why are you introducing them to drag club etiquette? What's the reason behind it? I'm no longer buying this idea at all that this is all about inclusion and acceptance. Okay, I'm not buying that anymore, because if you are really trying to introduce the concept of acceptance or inclusion into a child's life, there are a myriad of ways to go about it without having them go to a drag show where everything is hypersexualized. Everything. Their outfits, their ass cheeks are hanging out, right? Why? Men dressing up as women in sexy lingerie, and then you're standing next to kids. Look, I want to make it clear. If this is what you do on your own time, then by all means, let your freak flag fly. I don't care. I do not care. I'm not going to like you or dislike you based off of whether or not you're a drag queen or not. I honestly, I don't care. Are you a good person? Are you not a complete a-hole? That's the stuff that I care about, right? I don't care. I do care When children start getting involved, why did they feel the need to have children walk beside them while they're wearing that stuff, dancing, doing the splits, dancing during songs about sex and physical activity? What's up, Becca? Black and Decker, Pecker, Wrecker, Tifuses. Okay, John. Good God. Who the hell just thought, oh, it's little Cassie's birthday, bring the strippers, Harold? These people, there's something wrong. Who the hell just thought, 30 to 50 years ago, this would have been a British comedy skit. Imagine a Britcom with this scenario, but the adults in question don't seem to understand what they're getting into. There was something like that. It was, not like exactly like this, but Monty Python had a comedy skit where a teacher was trying to teach the students sex ed, and so he and his wife had sex in front of them, and it was a comedy bit. It was supposed to be funny. And I think I said this a while back I mentioned this skit on a stream a while back, and I said give it maybe a few months, like half a year to another year or so, and you're going to see a news report about how some people tried to introduce sex to children by demonstrating it in front of them. Because we already have these women out there. Remember, I think it was in Kentucky. I think it was in Kentucky where they had sexy summer camp or something like that for children, and they were teaching them to touch themselves, how to do things on illicit drugs. Introducing them to gender fluidity, just pure sexualization of children, right? You have books that are in schools right now that actually illustrate the homosexual acts, illustrate them, uncensored. You have books in schools attempting to have storylines that involve children having sex, like male children having sex with men, grown men, in schools. And I want to remind everybody that they tried to hide these. Parents discovered them and rose a stink about it. This is insane, and they don't even put on a good show. Totally tasteless, immoral. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's also, it's not even, where's the entertainment value in this? I don't understand it. I really don't. It's like a really bad fashion show. At the end of the day, it's a really bad, I'm not in that culture, so I have no idea. Maybe there are probably some people like, why do you like to play video games? Well, I do. And maybe they have their own likes of it. But and that's fine, but don't involve children. As someone who survived physical and sexual abuse, I can say for sure that's child abuse. Yeah, but DK, they're never going to try to talk to you about it. Not the mainstream media, at least. And I'm like, I have not even looked yet at the mainstream media's response to this. But I can guarantee you, if I could put money on it, if I were a betting man, and I could put money on it somewhere, I would very much assume that they're already kind of going with the Republicans pounce or conservative Texans act like animals toward these poor gay people who are just trying to have a friendly, innocent little show for children. I guarantee you that's already, if there is one right now, that's the response to it. Total breakdown of the family unit. What's weird is I'm seeing mothers with their children in here. At least I hope that's their mothers. One word: indoctrination. Yep, this is what it is. This is grooming. And grooming can take on many forms. It's not necessarily just grooming for the sake of it's not just grooming for the sake of trying to I don't even want to say it, but to introduce children to sexuality. It's trying to indoctrinate them into the idea of it being completely normal to have sexual situations around children, whether it's just the insinuation of sexualization or sexualization itself. It's okay for, gender fluidity to be the norm. It's okay for men to walk around in women's underwear around children. It's okay, they say. They want that to be a standard thing. Because then the kid can grow up and be like, oh, I've been around this all my life, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. Transgenderism, gender fluidity, as it's called now, they're coming up with all sorts of different neat little names for it. But it comes with it a very high suicide rate. Depression is very common among the transgender community. And I mean, just watch many of the TikToks. We've on this stream have watched many TikToks from libs of TikTok of these people who are gender fluid, non-binary, whatever, the transgender movement or whatever. We've watched many TikToks. And they all are, there's something off about them. They don't seem very pleased with the world. They seem only happy whenever they are disrupting it in some way, shape, or form. On many occasions, they seem very angry and aggressive. You can tell that many of them suffer from anxiety and high amounts of it. Imagine you are a person who already suffers in our day and age from a lot of anxiety. Imagine that you are and Matt Walsh talked about this actually in his recent, given I have not watched the full thing yet, I've only seen clips, but it looks very good. I've watched quite a few clips. Imagine that you are a person who suffers from a lot of social anxieties. Imagine that you are a person who feels lost in this society, alone. And there's a lot of reason to feel alone in this society nowadays. Social media, despite making us incredibly easy to talk to and communicate with, has separated us like never before. It has literally torn our social fabric to pieces. Add to that we just had lockdowns from a pandemic that we didn't need. And you have a situation where a lot of people are suffering from mental illnesses brought on by high levels of depression, anxiety, fear. And then all of a sudden, you're trying to find your place in the world, and there's this group that doesn't just, bring on the idea of being accepting, but that also is aggressive about it, that acceptance. And it being the most influential activist group in the world right now, and they are, you kind of feel a power behind it, so it must be right. And then on top of that, you see what happens when people step away from it or denounce it. The cancel culture, I think, had a very profound mental effect on our society. Very profound. So they join it because they feel like they need to belong. They do it out of fear. They do it out of just a deep-seated need to have someone to connect with. And these people go down this road of gender fluidity. They're convinced that it's the right thing to do, that it's all about love and acceptance. And it's not. They get put into this situation where they are incredibly depressed. And suicide skyrockets. And I think I told you guys this once before. There was a professor who he noticed. It wasn't the professor who noticed. It was a surgeon. A surgeon who did a lot of these transition surgeries began to see at first a trickle and then a deluge of people who wanted to have their surgeries, their transgender surgeries, their transition surgeries, reversed. And he talked to his buddy about it, or a scientist who noticed it, and said, all right, well, I'm going to study the effects of transgenderism on the brain and see what the deal is, because clearly there is a phenomenon that's happening and no one's talking about it. There's no research on it. Let's research it. He went to Bath Spa University to get funding for it. Bath Spa University at first said, yes, we're going to fund you, but then suddenly turned around and didn't. And you know why they didn't? You know why they pulled the funding and said we're canceling the research project? Is because they were afraid what would happen once the transgender activist community found out what they were doing. They were afraid of the backlash, and that's why they stopped. There is miles of data just sitting out there waiting to be discovered. And the transgender activist community stopped us from doing science. Ain't that some nonsense? Chris Bickford, what's up? LOL, that was the meaning of life. Yeah, meaning of life, that was it. Thank you. Did Mary have some nice... Okay. Libs of TikTok is awesome. Asking the hard-hitting questions. Dirty, perverted, inquiring minds gotta know. There were police outside, too. Stockholm Syndrome, anyone? Well, here's the thing. Police have to do what they're told. Especially city police. You'll notice that city police... By the way, a lot of people don't know the difference. There's city police and then there's county deputies. If you really want a police force of the people, it's the county, the sheriff's office. The sheriff's department is elected by the people, and so the people are the ones who actually tend to get justice done by the sheriff's department. The city police are effectively a mayor's private army. So if the mayor says, hey, my police force is going to come and run security for, any number of horrendous things that are happening in the city, then the police have to go do it. Given Dallas has experienced a very large exodus of police, due in part to mismanagement, but you'll notice that many police officers in Dallas aren't very pleased with what's happening. So it's okay to take a bite of that apple. Yeah, exactly. That African tribe didn't have words to describe a non-binary person. That was funny because here's the thing. This has its roots in Marxism, and I think that everyone needs to understand that. This is rooted in Marxism. Everything that is disruptive to society that does not make sense you can trace it back to Marxism. Because if you can tear the social fabric of society apart, you can destroy it and remake it, which has been from day one the Marxists' agenda. So it's you go to other countries like Africa, like Matt Walsh did. You go to other countries and you kind of see that they aren't very up on this. It's like Western idealism. It's completely science. It's not even science denying. Let's even just say it's not science denying. Let's take science out of it. It's common sense denying. Because every other culture in the world can look at what is, and say that it is that thing. Yet here in the West, they just wanted to not deny reality left and right. And you'll notice that most of the time it's in the name of politics. Those bigoted conservatives, those Christian right conservatives. We're just all about peace and love, but they just hate everybody and they want to shut us down because they're bigots. Vote Democrat. See? It's all political in the end. It's all political in the end. If you're at peace with yourself and your conscience, then being by yourself isn't a problem. I think that many people today don't understand. Like here's the thing. I'm an elder millennial. I was raised in a time as a child before the internet, and I learned that there is a quality to solidarity, or not solidarity. I'm sorry. There's a quality to individuality. Being by yourself, and finding things to do other than trying to impress other people was something that my generation learned early on. But there are kids nowadays, Gen Z and younger especially, who were born with the internet. They were born in an age where they were so connected by everybody else, or to everybody else, that everybody else became a part of their private life, which can't happen. That just can't happen. It doesn't work. It can make you crazy. There are some kids with good parents, good families, who came out alive and have the right idea about what social media is and how it works, but there are just some that aren't. And you can kind of see this taking effect. They are so seduced by today's fads on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Snapchat. They're so seduced by it because they don't know anything else. How you doing, Susie? If you haven't seen any videos from the sheriff of Polk County, Florida, you are missing out. Portland is done. Put a fork in it and move. Yeah. Solitude. Chris, actually, solitude, I think, was the word that I was looking for. Live streaming. I was going for solitude. Yeah. Red knows me too well at this point. One positive story I saw over the weekend for this, Brandon, was that some MLB players, Tampa Bay, chose not to participate in the team ballpark Gay Pride Day. And they should be able to. I saw that too. They should be able to. Without being shamed for it. It's just not... Okay, the same people who get mad whenever celebrities or athletes or anything like that, they get mad that they don't want to participate. Gina Carano didn't want to put her pronouns in her bio. They get mad because they don't participate. It makes no sense. Maybe I'm just not into that lifestyle. I shouldn't be forced into it. Should I start forcing you into going to church? Into public prayer? Should I start trying to force Christianity on you? Because if I did, you'd be flipping out, talking about how I'm a bigot. Well, the Christians hate gays. For one, the Christians don't hate the LGBT community. There are many Christians out there with gay friends. It's not the person that we hate. We can still consider what you do a sin and not hate you. So let's take a step back there for a second. Okay? But many of these activists hate the Christian community. They hate Christianity. And they do some very nasty things, say very nasty things to them. So, I mean, in terms of right and wrong, why is it that they're right to do what they want to do and say what they want to make the Christian bake the damn cake and all that stuff? Why are they right? But the Christian is wrong for just simply saying, I don't want to take part. Don't want to do it. The hypocrisy is overwhelming. Gen X and proud. Gen X, you know what? Millennials were the ones who had to learn how to deal with the internet first. And by that, I mean, like, as kids. Like, we had to learn how to deal with it. So we kind of... I feel fortunate to be an elder millennial who kind of learned what it was like before the internet came. Given I was still introduced to it very early, but I still know what it's like to not have social media. And I actually, I'm okay with not being online for a while. I can do that. But there are many kids who can't. And then, you'll hear stories from parents who are just going, man, I tried to take the internet away from my kid and they had a meltdown. It's like, well, they don't know anything else. They don't. My bio says lots of common sense. The media tried to shame them, but the manager stood up for being able to have a choice. It was refreshing. Good. I'm glad. We need more of that. They always conflate sin with hate. Yeah, that's one thing that kind of drives me nuts. It's like, okay, well, I don't approve of, homosexuality as a activity because the Lord says it's a sin and I'm a Christian and I go with whatever the Lord says. However, I mean, I have gay friends that I consider close. Just because I don't take part in their sin with them does not mean that I hate them. And I think that's, they don't take part in parts of my life that they don't deserve. It doesn't make them hateful of me. And I think that we need to understand. I've said this once before. Like, we can see each other first as human. You can dislike the sin, but still love the sinner. And we're encouraged to do that. Don't take part. And don't be afraid to speak your mind if ever it comes up. Have a healthy but respectable debate. But you don't have to hate. But they want us to hate. That's the issue. They want us to hate each other because nothing sells votes like division. Nothing. Big difference in Texas versus Chicago. I have no doubt, though. Yes, I saw that too. I like to point to the gains we're making sometimes. No, I mean, look, I think that there is a corner being turned here. I want to make that very clear. And maybe this is just my unrelenting optimism, but it's true. I do see more and more conservatives, libertarians, Christians, center right, independents, even, parents, like all these people are standing up and saying no to this woke culture that has tried to blitzkrieg all over us. It's being stopped. It's being halted, or at least slowed. And we need to continue to fight. And I do believe that we are. We've got all sorts of people going out and running for offices, from Congress to school boards, in order to make sure that these people can't, screw with us anymore. We've got the Daily Wire is starting to make content that attacks our culture. And when I attacks our culture, I mean like participates in it, which is something that we need desperately to do, because conservatives for a long time, conservatives like to use facts and figures whenever we argue. We like to debate with facts and figures. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to understand that the vast majority of people do not operate or make decisions via facts and figures. They operate via emotion and through the heart. You have to be able to access the heart in order to change minds. And that's something that conservatives had been largely absent from the battle, this cultural battlefield, largely absent from it for a very long time. So we didn't really affect people's hearts. But you've got to. That's just part of the equation. We're human beings. So we've got that going on with the Daily Wire, which I'm very happy about. We've got marches and even just like, TPUSA's Young Women's Leadership Summit. All of this stuff happening that really just kind of not just talks about facts and figures, but really injects emotion and style. And it's necessary if we're really going to win this culture war. And we're still fighting an uphill battle. We're not at the top of the hill at all. But we're making progress and we're pushing them back, and we're finding out that these people aren't as powerful as they say that they are. Born in 84, same. Born in 84. I'm more permissive than most parents, but not so people notice. I feel like in Texas, you can be a little bit easy on the kid. I'm Gen Z. But I'm my early years. I never knew the internet. I heard about it, but it didn't interest me. I went on my bike. I walked with my pa to the river, went to church. What life is about. It's the simple things. One thing I always say, and I think this is important for everyone to understand, if you really want to see the world as it is, touch grass. Just go outside. Talk to your neighbors. Go see nature. Go on walks. Go get out. Don't just stare at your phone the entire time. Don't get all of your news from the internet. Just go from headlines. I even say this about Red State. By the way, go to redstate.com. Go to redstate.com and sign up for our VIP program. It really helps us out. Use promo code Morse to get a discount. But don't just read the site and get all your news from us. Spread out your attention, but don't just go to our site and their site and just kind of go between various sites for news. Get outside and talk to people and get yourself a really good dose of reality. Because everything that you see on the internet is a fraction of the big picture. You do point to the positives. I know. It's one of my I have a problem with optimism, I feel like. I could be deep buried in a pit and I'd be like, guys, it's not so bad. At least I'm cool. At least it's not hot down here. Well, I remember a time without the internet as an older millennial, but I go crazy without the internet. I just pace with boredom when the internet power is out for a while. Depending on the time of night, I try to go to the basics. I'll crack open a book, or if it's during the day, I'll just take my dog out. There's plenty of other things that we could do. Maybe cook a dinner. I don't know. Unplug and read a book. It's so important. Yeah, exactly. Twitter is going crazy about MSNBC freaking out about the Daily Wire gets more traffic on Facebook than CNN and WAPO. Oh, no. Anyway. What did they expect? I don't understand. People don't want to be indoctrinated. They want to be able to have the news by people who admit their biases. It's that simple. It's that simple. Clearly, the MSM has not told the whole story. ever in their life, okay? So we got other alternative outlets that want to fill in the story, and you know what? They're more entertaining when they do it. It's personality driven, it's really cool, and people like these personalities. It's that simple. I don't understand why the mainstream media doesn't get it. Also, CNN is a bag of crap. It's just a bag of crap. They're trying to turn it around, but it's going to take them a while. I want to just show you guys this real fast because this part interested me. This is something that happened after this drag show that we just watched. Alex Stein from The Blaze was on scene, and he decided that he wanted to confront one of the drag queens who was dancing with the children. It was the one in the rainbow leopard leotard with the pink hair, as you can see. I want you to watch very carefully the reaction of the drag queen while he's being confronted. I did a lot of baking during COVID. It's a good thing to... I actually like baking. All right, watch this. I think it's very important that you see the reaction of the man. Pay attention.
You like dancing for little children? You don't think that's disgusting?
By the way, language warning.
Dancing around for little children? Away from me. Don't you think that's disgusting?
I need you to
Get
the fuck away.
Hey, well, you can't just touch me. You don't think that's
You touch me. Your mom's a bitch. Go on.
You don't think that's disgusting? Dancing...
That was a desperate grab for something to come back with. They had nothing. So the guy comes back with, your mom's a bitch! Like, what was that going to do? Was Alex just going to break down crying in that moment and be like, no, she's not! Dorothy Mantooth is a saint! Let's continue.
For little children. You should be ashamed of yourself dancing for little children. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I fuck him. Is he a child? No.
You guys dance with little children. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You're disgusting. Think about what you just did. Okay, that's fine, but you danced naked in front of little children. You did. You did.
Stop, you bitch.
Look at you. Stop. You dance in front of little children.
Did you notice something? It's glaringly obvious. Did you notice it? Let's watch it again just real fast. By the way, this outfit, why is this appropriate for children? Out of curiosity, just woke up and said, I'm going to dress like this and dance in front of kids.
Is he a child? No.
You guys dance with little children. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You're disgusting. Think about what you just did. Okay, that's fine, but you danced naked in front of little children. You did. You did. You did. You bitch. Look at you. Stop. You dance in front of little...
This person was being confronted by reality. And when that happened, he panicked. He was panicking. He was trying to escape Alex Stein desperately. He was banging on the top of the car, pointing to his partner, demanding that the door be open. He kept trying different doors, couldn't get in. He was reacting very angrily, like a beast cornered. He was trying to get away from Alex Stein as fast as possible. Now, I've got a question. These people in this activist community consistently try to say things about how what they're doing is all about love and acceptance. Okay? If that's the case, and they have a morally superior position, why is this person not trying to calmly debate Alex Stein and tell him how Alex Stein is wrong? Why isn't he trying to stop and argue his case? Why not try to enlighten Stein's viewers or his followers, or at least Stein himself, as to why this is a great idea? If they're so morally superior, to us in every way, and they're not the bigots, they're the saviors of society, then why are they not proudly standing firm and explaining their position to us? Why is this person desperately trying to get away from Alex Stein to the point where he is trying to open car doors that won't open? He's smacking the roof. Open it up. Open up the door. He's like desperate to get away. Why? I want to know. If I had to take a guess, if I had to really buckle down or break down what he might be feeling in that moment, I'm guessing that he feels shame. I'm guessing that he is being confronted by reality and he doesn't like it. Because let's face facts. People do dumb stuff all the time, and they get dumber and dumber whenever they are consistently surrounded by people who are always affirming them. This person is clearly surrounded by people who constantly back up his idea that this is a good thing. At one point in time, he had a conversation with people. I shouldn't say at one point in time, at multiple points in time, had a conversation with people where he said, you know what I want to do? I want to do this in front of kids. And a bunch of people around him said, yeah, I think that's a great idea. You're go queen, slay, just constant. Never anyone in his life, except for, I don't even know if he's had a relationship with his dad. I don't know, of any kind. No one in his life stopped and said, yo, this is wrong. This is probably not the play. I feel like this is at this point in time pedophilia. You're introducing sexualization to children. We shouldn't be doing this. This is wrong. This man was constantly affirmed in his belief. And once he stepped out of that club, which was a bubble of everyone who agreed with him, once he stepped out of that club and was confronted by reality in the form of Alex Stein, he panicked and he wanted to get away as fast as humanly possible because reality was coming and crashing down on him, and it scared him. He doesn't want to see it. His bubble has to stay intact. His ideological bubble can't break. He has to go. The fact is that I think that he understands somewhere deep inside of him that this is wrong, that he shouldn't be doing this. He gets pleasure out of introducing sexualization to children, and he knows it's wrong. He feels guilt for it, but because his friends are consistently affirming him, it helps to minimize or push the guilt away. But there was guilt asking him, why are you doing this to children? There it was. Reality came crashing down. Why are you doing this to children? You should feel ashamed. Why are you doing this? And the result was him desperately trying to get away.
You guys dancing little children. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You're disgusting. Think about what you just did. Okay, that's fine, but you
Desperately
naked in front
trying
of
to get away.
children. You did. You did.
Stop, you bitch.
Dude, look at you.
Stop.
You dance in front of little children.
You tell me who in this situation is wrong. Is it the guy confronting the other guy? No. He's not doing anything wrong. He's trying to bring reality to the other man. And I think that we all need to understand this. There is a reason that they are consistently trying to do this stuff in secret. Even in our schools, remember, parents had to find out that they were circulating these LGBT, CRT books to children and trying to hide it from parents. You had an entire law in Florida that was crafted around the idea that not only could you not introduce these concepts to children, the other part of it was all about not being able to keep secrets from the parents. They are very furtive when they do this. There is a reason. It's because, A, society doesn't accept it because it's wrong, but B, I think that they know it's wrong. but I don't think that they can help themselves. This is a pleasure for them. It's a sick pleasure. And they are desperately trying to maintain this idea that it's okay. They surround themselves with people who think just like them, that say it's okay, it's great, actually. It's a moral good for our society if you do this. But then here comes reality. Barging in the door. It's going to catch up to them. It's going to catch up to them real fast. They're not going to be happy when it does. The retreat, yep. Drives a damn Veloster. Are you suggesting that they were Steinphobic? I think they were. Bigots. Oh, they have day jobs and don't want to be outed. I mean, maybe. Maybe, but why wouldn't they want to be outed for their day jobs? I thought that they were doing a great thing here. Alex would be cool to hang out with. Be a real interesting day, I would think. If I could follow him around for a little bit, I wouldn't even really just participate. I would just follow him around with a camera. I'm pretty sure that I would come back with some pretty interesting footage. Or is on a list. I mean, maybe. Yeah. That's actually, John, that's a really good point. The lack of cross-communication is a big problem. A friend called it, quote, horrified neighbor syndrome. You'd never talk about doing certain things because the neighbors would not approve. In this case, they wouldn't. And for good reason. Dude, he's with the dude that drives a Veloster. It's a bad... Everyone's like, dude, look at the car. The car alone is a crime. This thing, I actually, hang on. That is an ugly looking car. It's like it's like it wants to be a hatchback, but it's not. It kind of looks like a... You know how they used to say that the Volkswagen Beetles used to look like little pill bugs, you know? It looks like this is trying to be something more like that. It's just, I don't know. It just does not look like a good-looking car. That is not a good-looking car. But that doesn't happen anymore. You can find a group to affirm anything you do now. No shared values. Another side effect of the internet, Chris, is this. Exactly. It's exactly that. You just have a bunch of people. You can go anywhere and find anyone who will just tell you that whatever you're doing is good. It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, you know, you can be a full-on Nazi and find forums for, you know, pro-Nazism at this point in time. You know, murder, rape of people who are different than you in skin color, religion, nationality, doesn't matter. There's a group for it. That's the internet, of course. I mean, you're not going to be able to completely stop that ever. But I mean, like, if you really want to find a group to affirm your darkest desires, you can find it out there. It's somewhere. But also, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. The internet is also a place where you're probably going to get discovered. You know, you're probably going to find yourself trending on Twitter because you acted this way. It's both for and against. Reality is a big problem for all these crazy people, Biden included. Speaking of Biden, secrets about parents' children is no small issue. Mess with people's children, bad things can happen. True. I said this not too long ago. Recently, everything that is happening in the schools with the left trying to push CRT and LGBT activism and all that stuff created a slew of parents, an army of parents who weren't going to take this anymore. They continue to show up. It's one of the reasons that they tried to get the federal government involved in, at one point in time, the National Guard. That's actually in a draft letter from the National School Board Association. They wanted the federal government to get involved and intimidate these parents into silence. The reason that they did that was because the parents were coming out in force and having a very, very, very great effect on the school boards. And they do not want to lose the school boards. They cannot lose the school boards, because if they do, then they have lost a huge foothold on the future of America. Huge. And I said that parents, they had made parents into one of the most effective, if not the most effective political organization in America today. Angry parents have made up the most effective political organization today. Furtive is a much underused word. I play too much Dark Souls. Reminds me of the Honda CRX. I'm not a fan of Hondas. I just don't think that they're very good looking cars. They never have been to me. Wrong interpretation. His real job. He doesn't want his paycheck to find out about his side hustle. Oh, for money reasons, maybe? I guess I'm a part of the normal people. Yeah. Amtrue, look at Loudoun County here in Virginia. Yeah. Loudoun County is what kicked all of this off. It was, because, I mean, like, when you can only... I don't know what they thought was going to happen when they tried to cover up a rape of a girl by a transgender student. I don't know why they thought that they were just going to get away with that. But it was the beginning of the end for them. Real fast, Biden makes yet another wrong move in a desperate attempt to raise his approval rating. More of a Bronco. I've got a Chevy. My wife now wants me to get a larger truck since we're going to have a kid. I have a Colorado currently. Colorado just, it fits my needs at the moment. But maybe, I don't know. I'm looking at other brands now. My brother has a Dodge truck, a Dodge Ram, and he says he loves it. I might go that route. So here's the thing. Biden, his popularity is in, saying in the toilet is probably even too light of a term here. It's in the sewer at this point in time. It's headed out to sea with the rest of the crap. All right? So much so that Donald Trump is now more popular than him. Which, that's got to sting. That's got to sting. That's one figure that the left was really hoping would never happen. Donald Trump is more popular than Joe Biden at this point in time. People want mean tweets back. What can I say? They miss mean tweets. So do I. So they are now trying to figure out different ways to get Joe Biden's popularity to go back up. Now, they've tried all sorts of different stuff. They've tried distraction, the whole like Roe v. Wade. I said this a while back. Roe v. Wade, the draft opinion leak seemed very convenient in terms of timing. I'm not a conspiracy theorist per se, but it just seemed a little strange that this was all going on with the popularity dip. They needed things to turn around. They needed to start fundraising in earnest. So here comes the draft decision for Roe v. Wade, which gave them miles and miles and miles of talking points that just fell flat. They tried to blame the economic downturn on everyone from the oil companies to Vladimir Putin. They were calling it like Putin's price hike and all this stuff, but people just aren't buying it. So what do you do if you're a Democrat and if you're a Democrat strategist, what do? You have to find a way to get Joe Biden's popularity up again. You turn to Hollywood because that's what they do. They know that they control the culture. So they can just put Biden in with some Hollywood celebrities and everything will be fine. However, they're horrible at their job. They need to be fired, these people. Whoever is in charge of Biden's PR team or whatever, they got to go. They suck at their job. Now, I understand that they have they don't have very good material to work with. I understand that. But they're just the worst because they decided, you know what we're going to have? We're going to have Joe Biden go on Jimmy Kimmel. Why? Why are you going on Jimmy Kimmel? Jimmy Kimmel is one of the most divisive hosts on the planet. He openly hates center to center right people. Anybody who watches Fox News, which is millions of Americans, millions and millions, he consistently touts the left's narrative, carries their water. I mean, it's sick. This is what he just said about people who watch Fox News.
Meanwhile, Trump's terrible kids are making the rounds, desperately trying to protect the golden goose. Last night, Eric took time out of his busy schedule to promote this made-up Hillary Clinton spying case they're now pumping into the Fox News viewers' soft oatmeal-like brain.
Millions of viewers who watch Fox News every day. Millions. Why would you say that? You are a host of a late-night talk show whose success depends on viewership numbers and you just basically insulted over half of America. People aren't watching CNN. They're not watching MSNBC. Okay? They're watching Fox News. They're watching Tucker Carlson. Hell, they're departing from that too. I mean, not departing, but I mean, like, you can leave Fox News and see where else they're going and hanging out. They're watching Joe Rogan. Okay? You have these people who most of America is listening to. Joe Rogan gets 11 million listeners an episode. And yet the left can't stop hating him. They keep shooting themselves in the foot. If you're Joe Biden's PR team and you're thinking, man, we've got to get his popularity up, we need to start appealing to a different crowd. We need to bring in other voters, maybe make him look like a little human to centrists. You don't go to Jimmy, I hate the right Kimmel. You don't. That was a stupid move. They need to be fired, these people. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want Joe Biden to be reelected or gain any sort of popularity. I think that his unpopularity is well deserved. Ever since he started closing down or like screwing over the oil industry and thus America on day one, the Afghanistan withdrawal, the border, all of this stuff, he has earned his unpopularity. I don't want to help him out. But this is it to me is more proof. Two things. One, the left doesn't know what to do with Biden. They don't know how to help. Two, they don't know how to speak to the American people. They know nothing about the American people. They just see somebody who gets laughter on a stage every night and think, man, you know what would be really awesome? Is if we could get Joe Biden in that room full of people who are laughing. Maybe we can make him human. Jimmy Kimmel is going to do nothing to help Joe Biden seem human. He is just as vicious, malicious. He has so much venom in him for the right. He can't help himself. He is going to turn so many people off so quickly. This is going to make Joe Biden, mark my words, this is going to make Joe Biden look even worse. I guarantee you, smart money says that the moment this episode is over and they start trying to leak the various clips to make Joe Biden look fun and cool, it's going to make him look even worse. Because they're not going to come off as, people who actually understand you and me. They're not going to come off as uniters. They're not going to come off as people who just, maybe we should understand each other a little more kind of attitudes. No, they are going to have, Jimmy Kimmel's going to have all the venom in the world for the right. He is going to make fun of them. He is going to try to serve Biden softball questions that no one is going to buy. Stupid. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. These people don't know how to talk to us. Ford F-150 is the state truck of Texas. I'm not pleased with Ford at the moment. They're doubling down on solar. Why? It makes no sense at all. Unless you look at it through the lens of activism. Nothing the left does makes sense. I'm glad they suck. It'll be easier to vote them out. Yep. Don't watch late night TV, always at work. I have no desire to watch late night TV anymore. None. If you look, if you look at Johnny Carson, look at old Johnny Carson, even Jay Leno, just go back to Jay Leno, right? There is a noticeable difference in the quality of the content. Back then, it was jokes and people had fun. It was lighthearted. There was no malice there, right? It was a time for people to unwind and hang out and see celebrities, jokes, and all this stuff. It was fun. Now it's a political show where they make jokes, quote unquote, that aren't really jokes. They're more like political statements delivered in a humorous tone so that people laugh. And it seems like a joke. It's clapter is what it is. It's called clapter. That's what these things are nowadays. It's not even fun. I have no fun watching these things. So it's like, why tune in? I'm not going to watch it. I'll see the clips and I'll comment on the clips, but I'm not going to tune in and give them my ratings. It's nonsense. It's abject nonsense. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. Jimmy Kimmel is in his base. That's what he needs back. But he's not going to be able to win his base back because at the end of the day, and I understand, Kerry, you are correct, I think. There is a strong chance that the reason they're doing this is trying to shore up his own vote. The reason that it won't work is because his voters are currently abandoning him, not because that he's, an old doddering fool who seems to embarrass himself every single time he gets on camera. It's because the situation in the home is that bad. It's absolutely god-awful, and that's really where it counts at the end of the day. They can't seem to get their act together when it comes to that. 3 out of 10 Americans favor Joe Biden. Who'd you ask? Joe and Jill Biden, Jimmy Kimmel, and 7 other Americans. By coincidence, Joe had to ask Jill what to say, and Jill voted no. She's the real president. Sutsu, never interrupt an enemy while they are making a mistake. Wise. And it's true. It's true. He's going to go on Kimmel, and I'm going to be proven right. They just don't know how to talk to us is the issue. They do not understand how to talk to us. Maybe I will watch Bloodhead. I'm just going to catch the replay of it later, I think. I think I'm just going to go on Twitter and just watch the clip. Because there's going to be clips. The RNC is going to have a field day. The RNC media team, a field day with this interview. One of the contributors had a great piece about the war within the comms team in the White House. There are too many cooks. The older people are stuck in the 80s and 90s when late night talk shows were hit. Here's the issue. You either have, I think this is the issue for Democrats. You either have the old guard there who wants to do things the way that they've always been done, or you have the new guard, which is so soaked in woke radicalism that no matter what you do, it's wrong. They're just not going to appeal to regular America. It's just not going to happen. They're screwed either way. And I guarantee Jimmy will not have pants on under the desk, and you will not see his dominant hand while Biden is... John, good God. That's Napoleon, but I'm sure Sun Tzu had a bit on that as well. Yeah, that was Napoleon, actually, now that I think about it. Napoleon said that. But Sun Tzu... It's been a while since I've read The Art of War. I bet he did have something like that. If it gets Biden impeached, yeah, he needs to be impeached. There's one guy who needs to be impeached. I feel like Biden has earned an impeachment time and time again, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. At least, hopefully, I mean, maybe it will after Republicans and the red wave come. By the way, do not get lazy. Don't just think that it's the red wave. We're all going to win anyway. I'm not going to get out. No, get out. Vote. Do it. That'll do it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Go to redstate.com and check out everything we got there. Sign up for the VIP program. Use promo code Morse. Sign up and get yourself a discount. Follow me at the Brandon Morse. We'll be going live again on Wednesday, as per the usual. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. Same time, same channel. Be sure to be there. Also, if you are looking for just a hangout, you got nothing else to do, twitch.tv/the Morse Code. Non-political stream. We just have fun. Got to take part in the culture. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good rest of your day. Tackle Monday. Be killer. Peace.